Okay, so I'm gonna give you a countdown right now.
All right, will it show up on the screen? Or?
It'll, the way that you know you're Belive is if you look over there, that's what's on channel 9 right now. So when you see yourself, you know you're live.
Okay.
But I'll give you a countdown and a thumbs up. That'll let you know when your show is going on live.
Okay.
We should sit close together so we don't come out. Okay, and what's your cat's name?
Avis.
Avis. Hello, this is Sharon Steniford on the show Say It in Your Own Words, and I have as my guest Jillian Carrie and her kitty friend from St. Meow's Animal Rescue. Hi, Jillian. Thanks for being on our show.
Hi, thank you.
And you take care of the cat on behalf of St. Meow's Animal Rescue.
Yep.
And how did you get involved in that?
I've been volunteering in cat rescue ever since I was 12 or 13. I volunteered for a group in Virginia first. And when I came up here for school, I immediately tried to look up a rescue group I could help out with. And so I've been helping out, fostering when I can, and otherwise volunteering for St. Meow's ever since I got up here.
Okay. And what does fostering involve?
Fostering involves taking care of a cat, usually in any kind of cat. It ranges from, young, healthy, perfectly well-adjusted cats to cats that need a little extra care until they're able to go to a good home.
Okay.
So, any kind of cats. Usually it's just so that there's an extra space for a cat and we can have another cat in the system so that we're able to provide more cats with homes and rescue more animals.
So that's really excellent because instead of in the old days when they used to euthanize a lot of cats, you actually get cats out of other places that would normally be euthanized for lack of a home and keep them in a safe place until they can be adopted.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
So.
And
So Avis is named Avis because we found him in the parking lot of an Avis car
Very
rental
good.
place. So we get cats from all over the place.
and he seems to be very content. And how did St. Meow's start? I know they have adoption hours in a church in Somerville. So how did they start and what are they doing now?
St. Meow's, we only recently have had the adoption hours in the church. St. Meow's has been in various locations before that. It started, the founder of St. Meow's is named Alice. She has always been rescuing cats ever since she was a kid. And so she at some point realized that she wanted to create her own shelter to be able to organize her rescuing of cats. Since she'd already been doing it on a large scale already, she wanted to have an official way to go about it. So that's how St. Meow's was born.
And how long, you can put your kitty in the cage if you like.
Okay.
And how long does it usually take from the time an animal is in foster care until it gets adopted?
It definitely varies. We have some cats, excuse me one second. We have some cats who are in and out of the door in just a week or two, and we have some cats who are either injured or have need to be socialized more, who can be with us for even years. Usually it's not more than months, but it definitely varies depending on the cat.
And what cats go quickest that people seem to want to adopt?
Younger cats who are good with other cats and good with kids and all of that tend to be the ones that go quickly. But we're always in need for homes for special needs cats. We tend to have younger, healthier cats all the time too. But we are especially needing homes for the cats that are a little bit harder to adopt out.
And I've read a little bit about this situation with animals, the overpopulation issue, and it seems like a lot of people don't really understand that when they bring an animal to a shelter, they think they are providing a safe haven, but not all shelters are a safe haven. Sometimes, just because of lack of homes in the community, they do euthanize the animal. And I had some statistics that were really a little bit shocking. It said in 1997, 56.4% of all dogs and 71% of all cats entering United States shelters were euthanized. And this fact comes from the National Council on Pet Population in 2009. So it's really important to do two things, I think. One is to get the animals spayed or neutered, and the other is hopefully that people will adopt out of an animal shelter. And wouldn't that make a huge difference to have, if everybody did not go to a pet shop but adopted out of an animal shelter?
That would make a huge difference. There are way too many animals ending up in shelters that do euthanize. St. Meow's does not euthanize our animals. We keep all the cats until they're adopted, but many public shelters and other rescue groups end up having to euthanize. So if people know that they need to get their cats spayed and neutered, cats and dogs, spayed and neutered, and if they adopt from the shelters, both the no-kill and the public shelters and the other shelters, then it will definitely help to alleviate that problem.
So it seems like a lot of different groups have different approaches to it, but they're all working toward the same goal, is to get the animals into homes, but that people, some are no-kill shelters and some just can't get past the lack of homes and the funding needed to support the animals until they're adopted.
Right.
So what kind of help does St. Meow's mostly need from the community to support their efforts?
We very much need more foster homes. We don't have unlimited space in our shelter, and we don't have an unlimited space in our current foster homes. So we're very much in need of more people who can take in a cat or several cats into their homes or apartments. Even just one spare room does great. You can have a cat in one room that you're taking care of, as long as you go in and take care of them. Just to have a place for that cat, have space for him, for us to be able to take in an extra animal.
Can people who already have an animal adopt, foster another animal?
Definitely. There are several foster homes where we have cats who get along great with other cats, who can be with the other cat, or, like I said, spare room, anything like that. That works well too. Some people foster multiple cats at the same time as well. So there's all sorts of different situations for fostering, and basically, if you're interested, we would find the best way to do that for whoever it is.
And how much time does it take, would you say, to foster a cat?
When I've fostered before, it's been usually 1 or 2 cats, and it very much depends on the cat. I've fostered shy cats who need a lot of socialization, and then I'm spending a significant amount of time trying to make sure that they're more comfortable with people. I've also fostered cats who are super friendly, and they end up taking up time just by wanting my attention all the time, but that's more fun. So I'd say in terms of just bare minimum amount of time, half an hour to an hour a day, but you usually end up wanting to spend more time than that when you're fostering the cats. So.
And does it? Do you pay for the cat food, or does St. Meow sometimes subsidize the cat food?
Usually, the foster homes are responsible for the food, especially if they're they have their own cats at home. It's hard to tell who's paying for what. So usually, the foster homes are the ones responsible for that.
I see. And so, how many cats have you fostered all together?
Altogether, I think I'd say 10 or 12.
Oh my goodness!
10 or 12 over the course of a lot of time. So.
And so does it cover the whole range of personalities? You've had shy ones.
Absolutely.
You've had kittens, babies.
All ages, all types of cats. I've only fostered one kitten, and she was a challenge. She was very shy, and we spent a lot of time socializing her. But she just recently went to a great home. And then I fostered super friendly cats. I fostered one cat who was really shy, and for 2 weeks he hid under my roommate's bed, and then one day all of a sudden he came out and decided he wanted to be friends with us. So and then I've also fostered cats who I let them out of the carrier, and they run around the room and lie down on the bed and figure they have a nice new place to stay. So all different personalities. I've loved them all. There hasn't been a single one that it hasn't been at least a little bit sad to see go. But it's great to have them in a new home too.
So what exactly is the process when they're screening applicants to volunteer? What could you describe what the process is?
We'll talk to you, ask a few questions, and fill out an application, and just making sure that it's someone who is able to get in touch with us. We like foster homes to be able to bring the cats to our adoption hours if possible. That helps us out. It's very difficult when we don't have transportation to and from adoption hours for the cats. And then just to make sure that it's the kind of situation that we would want a cat in. Just the same kind of questions we'd ask someone who's adopting.
Right.
Maybe we look a little bit less to about, sometimes you can foster in situations when you couldn't adopt, like if you don't know where you're going to be in 5 or 10 years, that kind of thing. So we just, make sure that it's a good fit for the cats and a good fit for the person too. So.
Okay, and one of the responsibilities of the people fostering is to get the cat to the adoption hours when they come up. And when are the adoption hours usually held?
Usually, that's updated on our website, which is saintmeows.com. Spell out the word saintmeows.com, and the next adoption hours are up on the website. But typically, they tend to be 6 to 8. In a church near Davis Square. You can get the directions for that on the website as well.
Okay.
So.
And sometimes they even have dogs as well as cats available that they advertise on the website, that they give some publicity to.
That's
so
true.
that
We help out with a couple of dog shelters. So if you look at the website, you can look at the dogs that we're helping to get the word out about as well.
And there are other things people can do to help. For example, to provide towels for the cats.
Right. We're always in need of donations. Towels are great. Sheets are great. Actually, in some of the places we keep the cats, we have huge beds that they can lie on with fitted sheets. So fitted sheets even are, you might not think that that's something we could use, but those we can use. Paper towels are like gold to us. Any kind of supplies you can think of that you'd use to take care of or clean up after cats, we're always in need of.
Right, cleaning supplies, bleach, and
anything like that is great.
And they need people to transport the animals back and forth between the foster home to help out the foster care providers, right, to get them to the hours when they show them to the public.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So what kinds of people usually have you known to get involved in the volunteer efforts?
All sorts of people. I'm a student. I think I'm the only student, or there are a handful of students who've been involved with St. Meows since I've been there. We have people in all sorts of different jobs, teachers, business people, any. It seems like it's just a wide range of people tend to like animals, and people who, are caring people who want to help out and who really want to see, this problem of cat overpopulation and stray cats be resolved. So it turns out to be a wide range.
And where do most of the cats come from? How do they end up at St. Meows?
It definitely depends. We have, like I said, the Avis here ended up coming to us from someone called us and said they found a cat in the parking lot that they'd been feeding, so we went to find him. We have cats. People call who can't keep their animals anymore. We get cats from the shelters. We rescue them before they have to be euthanized at other shelters. There's just all sorts of different places. Frequently there are people who are taking care of cats outside who will let us know about that.
So do they have programs for outside cats, for feral cats, to get those, or what do they do if they hear about a feral cat colony?
Yeah, usually we'll have someone who's keeping an eye on it. We'll make sure the cats are fed and taken care of, and then we'll slowly try to take in the cats. Most feral cats are not truly, completely, untamable wild cats. A lot of them are just take a little while and they'll come around. So even if they're, there's kind of a I guess myth that once a cat's been outside in the wild and has become an adult, there's just no hope for them, and that's just not true. There are many cats who've been out there for years and years who once you get them in, once you spend a little bit of time with them, they'll come around and be the sweetest cats you've ever met. So we spend a lot of time trying to make sure that those cats aren't treated unfairly and left to be outside for the rest of their lives. They can often end up in great homes.
And do you leave them outside? I heard of programs that some agencies do where they sterilize the cats and they set them free again in the outdoors as they were.
We don't do those programs just because of the amount of commitment that takes to continue to take care of the. So once you've brought them in, they're kind of yours. So you want to keep, making sure that you're on top of everything for them for the rest of their. So we run a different program, but there are programs like that out there.
And do you cover just Cambridge and Somerville, or do you get cats from the greater Boston area? Or?
Mostly the greater Boston, actually almost all the greater Boston area, definitely. And then, occasionally we'll end up rescuing cats. We rescued a cat from Maine recently. A former volunteer had moved up to Maine, found a cat, and drove him all the way down to Boston to be at St. Meow. So, sometimes it tends to be all over New England. If we get a call, it's kind of, hard to resist a cat in need wherever they are. So.
And so you hear about it. People hear about St. Meow's through the website primarily? That's true.
Yeah. And there's another website called petfinder.com where people can go
where
on
I got
and search.
My dog.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, people. My parents got our cats at home the same way. You can go on and search for the kind of animal you're looking for and the location. And so a lot of people will come across different rescue groups that way, and then learn more about them and come in to see us, and maybe not even end up adopting the cat they saw on the website, but fall in love with a different one when they come in the door. So,
right.
Yeah.
And so how many people are currently involved as volunteers, would you say, at St. Meow's?
It's hard to get a good idea for that because there's different foster homes that I haven't necessarily been to. It's a couple dozen, I'd say, are involved. Some more actively than others.
Okay.
So.
And how many animals do you think they have rescued over the years? Has it been tens or hundreds?
Several hundred animals. We have been, very active for years, and lots of animals have come through and found great homes. So.
Right. And so why would you recommend to other people to be a foster care provider?
It's a great experience. It's really, it's especially the cats who, for me, this varies from person to person, but for me, the cats who come in and are either, sometimes I'll take in cats who are, and not every foster home has to do this. So don't think that if you foster, you're definitely getting yourself into this. But when I take in a cat who's he's been through the basic vet care and is stabilized, because that's not the kind of foster home I am. But but still kind of sick and having trouble, either adjusting to people or having trouble physically, still has a limp or something like that. And I take care of the cat for a few weeks, and the cat really starts to like people and starts to come out, and it's just a really rewarding experience to see them go from something, an animal, kind of, almost pathetic animal who's in need of so much help, to a self-sufficient, healthy, well-adjusted cat is just great for me.
Right, and so the personality change probably makes all the difference in people wanting to adopt that cat, because I think a lot of people want a cat that's somewhat social,
right? Definitely.
Not totally independent. So
yeah, we always love the people who come in and say, give us your least adoptable cat, but that's definitely not for everyone. So it's great to see the change, so that I can then see them go to a great home.
So the basic care provided before they go into the homes, they give them all their shots, their immunizations.
They'll be spayed or neutered. They'll have they'll be up to date on any shots, any medical care. Obviously, after you adopt the cat, medical care is your own responsibility. But while they're in the system, it's all we've taken care of them as best we can before that. So.
Right. And what have been some of the most challenging cases that St. Meow's has taken care of?
Well, I can talk about my own experience. In my own experience, I fostered one cat a couple of years ago who had been very, very badly abused when she was a kitten. And you could tell she was just the sweetest cat, but she would lash out at people. So she, you'd be petting her and getting along with her great, and then all of a sudden she would it's like this, the demons from her past came up, and she just, lashed out at you and would be aggressive. And she was in the system for a long time until one foster home. It kept getting worse. Every time she would leave a foster home, she'd be doing really great, but she'd go into the next foster home and be feel like she's abandoned all over again and start going back to the same behavior. So she still was doing all of that all the way through the time she was in all the foster homes, but she was finally adopted, and I think either she knew that it was she was finally home, or a combination of that and how great the people were. She ended up coming around and being a sweet cat and losing all of that apprehension and aggression that she had when she first got to us. But she was definitely around for years before we found the right home.
And it seems like some perfectly adoptable cats just don't get adopted right away, and they can't figure it out, because I was reading the website. They said it was the best door greeter that she had.
Oh, yeah.
The cat would come out when you came home from work and greet you and meet you at the door. That seems ideal, and he's still waiting. And
sometimes we don't understand why they haven't gone. There's some wonderful cats who take a while, and wonderful cats who are adopted out and then sadly return to us later, and we have to figure out. We don't know why people brought them back, but.
Do you think the economy might have something to do with it?
Definitely, we noticed a big, almost complete cutoff in donations, and a huge rise in people giving up their cats as the economy has worsened. I guess people just feel like it's one of the first things to go. I guess, sadly.
Right. But the donations do so much good, and you don't have to give a huge amount, right?
That's
Even
true.
like $5 is good,
or
and
those towels that you don't use anymore. They're in the back of your closet. Anything
Right.
is
Right.
very helpful to us.
And cleaning materials, and any way you can do a small part and help with the bigger issue and help the whole effort in your community. And so I think the goal is for every community to try to do something so that there aren't just the sheer numbers of cats and dogs out there who need to be adopted. But also, Pet Finder is a wonderful tool that I discovered. You can search on any number of criteria, any kind of specific. You can get really specific too, like only declawed animals, which they don't recommend, but if they're already declawed, you can just search for that. You can search male or female, or the age of the animal, or
you can look for and then once you click on them, you can look at their pictures. You can, some of them even have videos up. You can read their descriptions, read how long they've been there, kind of what their story is, where they came from,
and information about the type of breed that you're getting, because that's important. When I adopted my dog, I knew nothing about rat terriers, and he was so active as a little puppy, and but he mellowed out, thank goodness, because I was looking for a mellow dog, and I got a really active dog. So you should do your research on the type of animal that you're looking for.
Right. With cats, the breeds are harder to determine a lot of the time, but it's the same idea.
Right. Some of them seem to be more social by nature, and others are more inquisitive, or more likely to just snuggle on the couch or whatever. Yeah. So, what is the amount of time that you usually commit, the foster care providers usually commit to? I know you've been doing it long term.
It varies from person to person, but it looks like we only have 30 seconds.
Okay, let's wrap up with the contact information.
Okay, so if you're interested in helping out with St. Meows in any way, or adopting or fostering a cat, the website is saintmeows.com, spell out the word saint, and you'll be able to find information on our adoption hours and how to get in touch with us there. Email is the best way. Email is much better than calling for us. So.
Okay, and it's St. Meows without the apostrophe, correct?
Correct.
Yes. And they're great people. They do wonderful with the animals, and we hope that you call in with some towels or some time and to donate.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Okay.
Great. So I guess we're